Welcome, everyone. I'm so delighted to connect with you again. Welcome, welcome. Those of you who I've connected with before, welcome. Those of you who are new to me. And if this is your first time, this is my free weekly Priestess transmission offering. And so every week I am here on both YouTube Live and Facebook Live. It's being simulcast to talk about the Priestess path. These are teachings from my forthcoming book, Priestess Rise Up. And I also include meditations and inner journeys. And I would love to see who's here. If you want to write in the chat who is joining me today, I would love to see you. So as I was praying and meditating before we started, what was really coming forward is that word leadership, really talking about the priestess leadership path and what it is to be a leader, because we're all being guided to be leaders. And I often have clients and students that come to me that will say things like, well, I'm not a leader yet, or I've never been a leader. And there's all these misconceptions about what leadership is. And leadership, first and foremost, starts within, right? Leadership starts from you having the commitment and the practice of tuning into your own heart and letting your soul lead the way. So it's that paradox again, right? That divine feminine leadership paradox of leading and following, right? Because the best leaders are those that are committed to following, not the mass consciousness, but following their soul, following the divine. And so leadership, that's where it begins. It starts within. So if you have that prayer, if you have that intention, if you have that commitment, doesn't mean that it's perfect. It doesn't mean that there aren't times where you might feel like, I don't even know what my soul is guiding me to do right now. I don't even know. Or you let fear take over. That's just being human. That's part of the human journey. But leadership starts when we commit, when we say, and I have a prayer that my soul leads the way, that my life, my leadership, my service is being led by the divine. And so first and foremost, that's where it begins. Hey, Jade, so good to see you. Jade, I don't know why I just suddenly, I think it's your birthday tomorrow. If that's true, happy birthday early. I don't know if that's true. It just popped into my heart. But so if you're watching this, whether you're here live or watching the replay, and you're having doubts about whether you're a leader or not, I really want to bring that to your awareness, because as you've heard me, many of you have heard me say, when I did the Our Lady of Guadalupe gathering last December, and so for years, that was my 7th annual Lady of Guadalupe celebration. For years, I've done this. First, I did it in my home, then I did it virtual the last 2 years. And so preparing for it, as I tuned into her, and she was really like, I need leaders. I'm here to initiate leaders. Oh, good, Jade. Yes. And so the Divine Mother, right? The Sacred Mother, in that case, it was in her form as Our Lady of Guadalupe, is saying that there's a call going out, leadership needed. And for me specifically, it's the call of priestess leadership is needed. And this is not for the faint of heart. This is, make no mistake, this is a courageous journey. This is a courageous answer when we say yes. And so I believe that if you're here, you have said yes, you are saying yes. And when we go into our meditation, the question that I hear being asked of us is, how do we raise the vibration of our leadership? How do we leave one arena of leadership? So perhaps you've been a leader, whether you use that name or not, maybe you use a different word. You've been a teacher, a healer in one arena, right? You've been a leader in this circle. But now you're being invited to go to the next arena, the bigger arena. That's what happens when we say yes to leadership. There's never, just when we think we're comfortable, there's the next arena to step into. I know I'm feeling that. And so when you're in that process of leaving one arena to the next, like your foot's on one and you're raising your leg up to go to the next arena, the next platform for your leadership, that can feel very vulnerable. In fact, that is the time where we can be bombarded by doubts and questions and self-judgment of whether we're a leader or not, or whether we're perfect enough to be a leader or know enough to be a leader. And yet, this is the time when the ground seems the most unsteady, where we're being called to step into the ground that is always there, the ground that is our heart. That is what the priestess leadership path looks like, right? It is the path of becoming comfortable with the discomfort of expansion, because we're constantly expanding on this journey. And I know I've been feeling that for years, but I'm aware of how accelerated the times are right now, that this is happening just quicker. It's almost like expansion, 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 maybe a moment of recognition, but then expansion, expansion. And in fact, it's happening so much that I know when I notice it often is when I've seen a friend or someone I haven't seen in a few weeks, even, before it'd be like months, but a few weeks. And I'm like, I feel like a different person. It's just been 2 weeks. But because so much has happened, because you're saying yes to your leadership. So I just want to see. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I'm not missing people's comments. Okay, great. And so the reason it's important to recognize this is because when you start to accept this, when you start to accept that, yes, I am on a leadership path. Yes, part of this leadership path is being uncomfortable. I don't mean that it's being painful, but it's being uncomfortable. And that, yes, there's so many times where you're going to feel like you're just arriving and the next door is opening already. When we start to accept that, what happens is that we build trust. And as we build trust, the divine is able to use us more effectively in the world. So what I mean is, as I've been working with this myself, as a lot of old patterns and structures that used to work for me are being dissolved now, because I'm moving into the next level of my platform, and my inner world can get nervous and scared and all of that. I find that there's a tendency to want to start to control things. And so as I've been in prayer and specifically sat with Mother Mary, and she's teaching me how to let go of the steering wheel, right? That's like, I want to hold on to the steering wheel because I'm on a highway that's going really, really fast. That's how it feels right now. Not reckless, not dangerous, but just fast, because I'm on that, because that's been my prayer. My prayer has been, I want to lead, I want to serve, I want to touch people's lives, I want to create my legacy of love. Use me, divine, use me, soul. I want to be an instrument of love and peace. I've had that prayer for years and years and years and years. And it's been answered over and over and over. And now, because of the accelerated times, because of the need in the world, right? There's so much need in the world. There's so much confusion and pain and suffering. And so our path is being accelerated. And yet what I find is that I have a part that wants to like, okay, hold on really tight in this really fast highway that I'm on of leadership. But when I do that, it creates suffering and overthinking, and I don't enjoy the ride because I'm holding onto the steering wheel. And it's also harder for my own soul and the divine to like to use me to just be like, because that's what I feel the divine in my soul saying, like, take your hands off the steering wheel. Your higher self is leading the way. And that isn't to say that I just sit and like just stare at the wall all day. No, there's steps that I have to take. But as we surrender and let the divine, let your soul, let your higher self be the driver of the steering wheel, and then you start to notice like, wow, the car's not even on the highway, the car's like flying, I'm in a flying car, right? And just when we start to trust that, and we practice, because that's a practice, trusting that, then the miracles that could flow through you are infinite. The healing, the miracles, the transformation, the love that you can become a vessel of is miraculous. And that's what we want. I was having this conversation earlier in my online coaching class that I lead, that we're living in times where that's the type of leadership that's needed. We're no longer in a time where we can, kind of take it slow, or have some accelerated moments and then like, I'm going to pause for a few months. Like, there's no time for that. And that isn't about not being in the present moment, because that's the paradox, right? That we ride this fast, accelerated journey and we do it from the present moment. And so I want to check here. I don't know what happens if I click that button, so I'm not going to click it, but if you want to share a comment, please feel free. It was just giving me a message and I was like, but so let's step into our meditation to have the conversation with your soul on this accelerated priestess leadership path that you're on. Remembering that your soul, your higher self, when I say soul and higher self, I'm using it interchangeably, is the seatbelt, right? Your higher self is the seatbelt. You're in this. You have said yes. You've prayed for this. You've prayed that your life be a blessing to the world. And the universe has answered and said, yes. Yes, my daughter. Yes, my son. Yes, we need you. And so I invite you to take a few breaths. Let yourself settle into your heart and settle into your body and settle into this moment. And we invite your beautiful soul, your beautiful higher self to be here. Of course, your higher self has been here already, but there's something really powerful that happens when you consciously invoke the wisdom, the guidance of your soul, of your higher self. And as you close your eyes, envision before you this amazing highway, this golden highway. Usually I ask us to visualize a golden path, but today it's this golden highway, freeway. And perhaps in real life, in the earth, I don't want to call it real life because this is real, but in your earthly life, maybe you don't like driving on the highway. Or maybe you love driving on the highway. Whatever it is, here you are in this divine golden highway, in this beautiful priestess vehicle, whatever that looks like for you. And you're sitting there in your driver's seat. The steering wheel is beautiful and vibrant. And the front of this vehicle, there's so much view. It's like somehow in this vehicle, you just have like this vast view. And it's the most comfortable car seat you've ever sat in. It's like it was custom made for you, because guess what? It was custom made for you. So I know for me as a petite driver, car seats often feel uncomfortable, but this seat knows exactly the dimensions for me. So same for you. And as your car starts, you realize that you actually didn't have to turn the ignition. It just started. And it's starting to move. And you're aware that it is on this highway that represents your accelerated priestess leadership path. And you realize also that this vehicle doesn't even have tires. It's almost like hovering over the highway. And if you allow yourself to look through the windows on the side, you notice all of these beautiful, amazing vistas. And as you're there, you hear your soul say, it is safe for you to trust your leadership path. It is safe for you to release the grip of control. She's saying, I've got you. I'm guiding this priestess vehicle. And in this moment, practice what it would feel like to completely let go of that steering wheel, to be in a place of trust and joy, in a place of knowing that you are completely safe and protected. Let's all of us practice this together in this inner journey. You can always at the end decide, no, I'm just going to bring my hands back to the steering wheel. You can always decide that. But for now, let's all practice. We're releasing our hands and we're saying yes to our higher self, yes to our soul. Like, yes, you are the driver. I am here. I am saying yes. Take me on this priestess leadership path. Take me on this amazing journey where I create my legacy of love. And so take a moment to experience that now and see what happens in your vehicle. What do you see as you look out the windows? What does your soul say as you completely let go and let this journey be as quick and accelerated, as beautiful and delightful, as expansive and transformative as it is meant to be? So let's do that for a few moments together. Notice what insights come, what awareness, what visions, what messages. And take a moment now as your vehicle stops And if there's anything you need to write down, go ahead and write it down. If there's any message that came, you can write it down. And take a moment to thank your soul, and your soul thanks you with a wink in her eye, thanking you for all your courage, for all the ways that you have already said yes to your soul, that you've already said yes to your leadership path, that you've already expanded past your comfort zone, that you've already trusted the divine. And so we end this journey with a namaste as we bring the palms of our hands together, bowing to each other and our own heart. Namaste. So feel free to share. That was so interesting for me as I was going in my car. And I am actually, I mean, I drive in the highway, but I I went through a phase where I was in a lot of car accidents, not me as the driver, but other people. So I could see how parts of me were like, no, 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 don't move it. But I was like, okay, I'm just going to practice. I'm practicing this in my inner journey. And it was so amazing just to see. And then as it went fast, at some point, it was like going through timelines and through space. And then I just want to share this part. There was more, but at some point I was like, I had my eyes closed and I opened my eyes and I looked over and there was all of these other beautiful priestess cars with all the priestesses in there. And it was like, oh my gosh, yes, we're in this together. We're co-creating this new, beautiful way to lead for the healing of humanity, really, for the healing of our planet. So thank you for taking that ride with me. And I apologize if you are putting something in the chat and I can't see it. It just seems to be stalled. But you can try again, and I would love to read your comments. So I'm going to just pull 2 cards for the group, and then we're going to be done. I do want to remind you, if you are in the Chicago area, I will be at Sauter World Meditation Center Academy tomorrow, doing my mantra meditation, Reiki extravaganza hour. Chanting is one of my favorite things to do, and I just love doing it in a group. Sacred chant. So we will be doing that. Sorry, my cards got all turned over. So I'm going to pull a card from the Rose Oracle, and then maybe from the Star Temple deck. So let's just see, what is the message for all of you beautiful souls about your leadership? All right. Perfect. I love this. So we got the Rose of Venus, alignment, flow, right relationship, harmony. Look at this gorgeous, beautiful card. Feel the vibration of that. Feel the vibration of those words, alignment, right? You're aligning with your own higher self on your priestess path. Flow, right relationship, harmony. So feel that blessing. And then I'm just going to do, again, that was from the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. And I'm going to do the Sacred Temple Oracle. And then we will be done. All right. The Huntress. All right, everyone. She looks like she's got that Diana energy with the bow and arrow. Quest. It says the Pleiades. And if you don't know who the Pleiades are, your star family, you can even think of them as your guides. Light my quest to be wild and free. Look at this. Look at her. She's got that bow and arrow. So your leadership path is being illuminated with that energy of wildness and freedom. And when you do that, you awaken others to that same freedom that they're seeking, whatever it looks like. Your leadership will look different than mine leadership. Everybody's leadership looks different, and that is how it should be. But the common denominator is that it leads to an awakening to what is already within you, right? Your own divinity, your own sovereignty, your own freedom. So thank you so much for being here with me. I will connect with you again next week. I know I keep saying these are at 2:30 and they keep having to be at 12. So I'm going to tune in and be, maybe it's just that every week I just have to play it by ear and choose a time, but maybe there's another time that's going to emerge that I'll be able to keep consistent. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here with me. I wish you the best and so many blessings today. Bye, everyone.